Want to know one of the most common bad habits leaders have when it comes to communication? I need to talk to you. See me before you leave. Or maybe it's an out of the ordinary calendar invite with no context, just added to your calendar, and the expectation is that they got to show up and, I don't know, be yelled at, be shamed, be fired. What's going to happen? Those are some of the worst words you can say to an employee. I need to talk to you. And we're all guilty of it. We all start conversations in our head and continue them outside into the real world, thinking the other person knows and is feeling everything that we know, because, of course, how could they not? The problem with those words, I need to talk to you, it launches a spiral of thinking that is bad for the employee. It's bad for the conversation and it's bad for your bottom line. It's bad for your business. Adding high performers to your team with a strong cultural fit, getting them trained, seeing a return on that investment, it takes time, energy, money. It's so hard. And so if you've got a team member who's missing the mark in some way and their performance needs to be addressed, you want these conversations to go as well as possible because you have already invested so very much in them. You want there to be a solution where everyone wins. So no employee is ever going to be perfect forever. So knowing how to start and have difficult conversations successfully is how you're going to increase that contributor engagement. You're going to increase your results, your retention, all of these things that are vital for your success. And I'm going to be honest, there are so many leaders who do not naturally have this skill set, and it needs to be learned and then also practiced. So you can hear it and then also practice it. Those are muscles that need to be exercised. So I want to talk to you about the very beginning. In this video, I'm just going to talk about asking for the conversation. If you say to them, I need to talk to you, and then leave them to dread that conversation with you for a few hours or God forbid a few days, that's terrible. That's not setting yourself up for success. When they hear that, they're going to immediately start wondering what they did wrong. They're going to start preparing for an argument, their side of the story, gathering evidence. They're going to get mad at you. They're going to stress out. They're going to think about quitting. They're going to think about ways to harm your business. It's just, I mean, you're going to spiral. They're going to build a conspiracy board. They're going to talk to other team members negatively and start, gossip. It's going to get messy. And I'm sure no one has ever had an imaginary argument with someone else while they're going to bed at night. And, you always think of everything when you're having an imaginary argument. Instead, move the conversation to be about the problem and not the person, and let them know what you're going to talk about. For example, if you have a person who isn't as engaged or responsive as you'd like, you might be thinking this person is quite quitting, they're not working, they don't care, they're slacking off. But what if they're just stuck? What if they are trying to communicate in a different way? Maybe they're more of a written communicator and they're communicating in writing somewhere else, an email or a doc or in Slack. But you are expecting verbal engagement during meetings in real time because time is of the essence. Or what if there's more to the story and you don't even know everything after all? Maybe they don't feel that it's appropriate for them to speak up and they don't want to swerve out of their lane, and you need to unpack that. To set you up for the best success in solving this particular kind of problem, you might say, I feel like we're not communicating well. I'd like for us to solve this together. Can we talk about how you and I can unlock some better communication? Because I'd love to get more out of you. Odds are that they're experiencing the impact of this miss as well. And it's not going well. So calling it out and saying, hey, I want to solve this. This is a thing. Maybe they're not noticing it, but most of the time when I have these conversations, they're aware of it as well. And they'd love the chance to work through it, but they don't maybe know how to address it. And you're making it a problem to solve together instead of making it a them problem. And you're going to make it easier for the person to lean in and improve and problem solve and actually work past this. So they might share with you something you're blind to in your own communication style. Maybe you're not communicating as well as you think you are. Maybe you've got an employee who's constantly late for work. Hey, we're struggling with being short staffed for the time before you arrive when you're late. It's becoming a recurring problem. I'd like to talk and understand why it's happening and how we can solve for this. Again, it's not about the person. It's not about, hey, you just need to show up. It's a more empathetic approach. I will say when I am working with leaders on developing this skill, I often hear that people get frustrated or impatient because they're like, well, we're babying people and they just need to do their jobs and they just need to do what they need to do and it's all on them. And my answer to them is you absolutely do not have to compromise on expectations or baby anyone. Putting the consequences of the behavior as the problem to be solved gives you a chance of actually working through the problem. And yes, it can be frustrating and you can feel as if you are babying someone by taking that time. It feels, and it's as common with people who like to go fast, and it can feel like going slow to go fast. But respecting them and treating them as someone you believe can solve this problem will work out better than if you go on the offensive and then put them on the defensive. You can scold them, you can yell at them. Yes, you can, but that's not going to give you the success rates that the best and healthiest and highest performing teams know are possible. The best leaders are the ones who are open to solving problems with their employees, and acknowledge humbly that there's a chance they don't know everything. They want to see their employees move past these hiccups. They want to see everybody win. And they understand that there's a cost to employee turnover. So if you want to talk more about how to have these hard conversations, talk about the conversation prep. What does the conversation actually look like? Performance improvement plans, one-on-one check-ins and performance rhythms. I'm happy to talk about that. Even terminations, that is a whole conversation as well. There's due diligence that needs to be done. So if any of this is something you're dealing with right now, reach out. I would love to help you with this. Start the conversation today.